Welcome to the latest remote edition of RPPV News, bringing you stories from across the Mornington Peninsula. I'm Catie Sharp, and our top items for this edition are the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic, a new battle erupts between the Shire and beach box owners, a welcome cash injection into the maintenance of local streets, Operation Ribbon helps out victims of domestic violence during lockdown, RPP begins an investigation into the proposed Hillview Quarry expansion, more locals find a way to help their community, and happy hour is being revived virtually. Now for the full stories. First, the latest on the coronavirus pandemic from RPPV's Shivani Pillai.
There are 6,725 cases of COVID-19 in Australia. The total number of confirmed cases in Victoria is 1,351. Of the 84 who have died in Australia, 17 were Victorian. The Mornington Peninsula has 60 recorded COVID-19 cases. More than 500,000 tests have been conducted across Australia. On the 27th of April, the Victorian Government announced a massive expansion of testing, which will help inform decisions about slowly lifting restrictions ahead of the state of emergency being reviewed on the 11th of May. Victoria's Chief Health Officer, Professor Brett Sutton, said up to 100,000 Victorians will be tested for coronavirus over the next 2 weeks as part of a major testing blitz across the state. Victorians with symptoms are encouraged to get tested as this will increase the data available. Common symptoms of coronavirus include fever, chills, cough, sore throat, shortness of breath, runny nose, and a loss of sense of smell. The federal government has released the coronavirus tracing app dubbed COVID Safe. Those who download the software will be notified if they have contact with another user who tests positive for coronavirus. The app is said to be essential to contain the spread and ease restrictions across the country. The app is voluntary. Greg Hunt, Health Minister, has assured that safeguards in relation to information collected are the strongest ever. Mr. Hunt said it is illegal for authorities to use the information for anything but contact tracing. More than 2 million people have downloaded the government's COVID Safe app in just over the first 24 hours of release, surpassing government expectations. Councils are looking to defer elections scheduled for October because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Mornington Peninsula Shire currently does not hold a specific view. However, primary considerations are the community's health and safety, as well as upholding the core principles of local democracy. Mayor Sam Hearn told Mornington Peninsula News, a delay should be considered if it's clear that holding the elections in October is in any way detrimental to the fight against COVID-19, or that the restrictions we need to have in place because of COVID-19 impact candidates' ability to campaign within their local communities. As the elections are decided by postal vote, social distancing does not become a problem on voting day, but it would be problematic for candidates if they want to hold meetings or campaign by door knocking. Councillor David Gill estimates that the 4 yearly elections cost the Shire about $1 million and states that if they were cancelled this year, councillors elected in 2021 would serve a 3-year term so as not to break the cycle. Councillor Gill told Morning Peninsula News the Shire income was going to be down by millions of dollars, and some thought might need to be given to reducing councillors' stipends and allowances. Due to changed circumstances under COVID-19, the state government has offered council a time extension for the budget, affecting Rosebud Aquatic Centre, Somerville Active Recreation Hub, Merrick Station Grounds Master Plan and road rehabilitation works. The council has decided to extend the public exhibition time of the proposed budget to both give the community more time to review and provide comment, and to give council officers more time to assess the economic impacts we are seeing from COVID-19. The proposed budget is on display and open for public comment until the 21st of May. The budget will be brought before Council for adoption on the 14th of July. Rosebud Aquatic Centre construction work costing $11.2 million is the single biggest item. Other big expenses are $4 million for road resealing and rehabilitation works, $1.5 million for construction works at Somerville Active Recreation Hub, and $1.9 million for the Merrick Station Grounds Master Plan. The proposed 2020-21 capital works budget is $52.5 million. The Mornington Peninsula Shire is conducting an online survey seeking information from businesses about impacts to their revenue, staffing, supply chains, and what government stimulus measures they are accessing, with a view to help inform recovery efforts and understand how and to what level COVID-19 is affecting the business community. The online survey closes on the 16th of May. A mental health satellite service for young people and their families on the peninsula is opening in Rosebud. Headspace is opening in Rosebud, and through the Youth Support and Advocacy Service, YSIS, it will be delivering mental health support to young people and their families on the Mornington Peninsula. The initiative is being financed by the federal government. Federal Health Minister and Flinders MP, Greg Hunt, told Mornington Peninsula News, right now, Australians are facing a once-in-a-century challenge. It is not only important during the coronavirus to focus on our physical well-being, but also our mental well-being. Elizabeth Devaney, the Healthcare Network's CEO, added that Rosebud was the perfect location to open a Headspace service, especially during this time of social isolation. Young people are identified as experiencing drastic life changes as a result of COVID-19. The Rosebud service will offer help over the phone or video conferencing, while in-person appointments will be provided on a needs basis and where able to be provided safely, supporting social distancing guidelines. The Headspace service will operate from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday to Thursday at 825 Point Nepean Road in Rosebud. Details at headspace.org.au. That's the COVID-19 update. I'm Shivani Pillay. Back to you, Catie.
Thank you, Shivani. Police stations on the peninsula have been overwhelmed by the number of letters, phone calls and flowers they've received following the tragic death of 4 officers last week on the Eastern Freeway. Senior Sergeant Natalie Dollard of Rosebud Police told MP News she and her colleagues were humbled by and grateful for the strong local support shown during a very difficult time. Another front has opened up in the battle between the Mornington Peninsula's 1,300 beach box owners and the Shire. Already at loggerheads over a proposed set of new Shire rules and fees, owners have now been told that about 120 beach boxes have unacceptable amounts of asbestos. With the Shire and the Peninsula Beach Box Association set to resolve their differences in the High Court, the asbestos issue is bound to be another source of contention. Police are making more frequent checks during the lockdown on people at high risk of domestic violence. As part of Operation Ribbon, detectives will conduct home visits and carry out compliance checks. The operation is particularly important in Frankston, which has a higher than average rate of domestic violence incidents. The federal government is going to dip into its $100 billion infrastructure budget to fund road improvements on the Mornington Peninsula. The investment objectives are aimed at improving road safety and transport needs through community projects, where locals will stay in jobs and spend money in their local towns and businesses. The projects being funded on the peninsula include over $800,000 for road upgrades in Tukaruk and Muradak and $27,000 for upgrades to roads on French Island. The pandemic has so far had devastating consequences for the travel industry, and travel agencies on the peninsula are struggling to survive. Rachel Morgan and Jackie Nielsen, directors of Somerville Travel and Cruise, know the impact this is having on the local travel industry and local communities. RPPV reporter Deborah Marr speaks with Rachel.
Somerville Travel and Cruise have been making dreams come true for locals down here on the peninsula, but because of the unfortunate times that we're experiencing now, the industry as well as the people on the peninsula, it is impacting them a lot. Today I'm lucky that I have one of the directors of Somerville Travel and Cruise, Rochelle Morgan. Welcome, Rochelle. Thank you so much for your time today.
Pleasure, Deborah. Thanks for having me.
Now, let's go back a year when nobody knew the word coronavirus, nobody knew that we'd be in this situation at this time. Where were your clientele ready to travel to coming up our winter?
Pre-corona, we were very busy. We were probably on track to have one of our greatest years since Jackie and I took over the business, and that was 5 years ago. So we were on track to probably a good year. So we were doing a lot of Europe, a lot of river cruising, a lot of coach touring, people travelling to New Zealand, and also our major market would be cruising locally from Melbourne, Sydney and Brisbane. So it was going to be a great year.
So because the pandemic has affected you and the industry locally and of course worldwide, how is that impacting on your clientele currently?
Well, at the moment, obviously people aren't travelling. So we can't travel. It's a government rule that we can't travel. So we are in the process of making cancellations for all of our clients that were due to travel at this stage up until around about mid-June.
Is there a lot of stress out there? Can you feel that there's a lot of uncertainty and stress with the people on the peninsula and your clientele? Are they asking for cancellations or are they happy to have a credit and travel later?
Look, we're very fortunate in the fact that most of our clients are very happy to receive the credit and with the plan to travel again as soon as they can in the future. So cancellations are a lot of work. It's actually harder and takes longer to make a cancellation than what it does to make the booking. So there's a long process to go through in regards to the cancellations. Also due to the fact that the people that we are, the suppliers that we use, they've laid off a lot of staff as well. So there may well have been 10, 12, 20, 30 staff in their offices and they're down to 1 or 2.
So it's
a very long process.
Yes, it's affecting the industry. I mean, there's a dominoes effect here. So it's not only the travel industry, it's the retailers, it's the wholesalers, it's the airlines, even car rental, hotels, tours. I mean, it's the whole gamut of the travel industry.
Yes.
So I want to quickly touch on the industry as it is now. Now we're coming out of this pandemic and we know that it will end. We don't know when that will be, but you'd have to look at the industry as a whole and have a look at the business model. When we come out of this, are we going to be travelling the same way? Are you going to be doing business the same way?
Well, we hope to do business the same way. Jackie and I pride ourselves on excellent service, and that to us is face-to-face, building a relationship with our clients. Many of our clients we've had for a long, long time. I myself have been in the industry for many, many years and have retained my clients from my last office that I used to work at. So a lot of clients have followed myself around. Jackie herself has built up some lovely relationships with clients. She's only been here 10 years from Scotland. So we pride ourselves on more like building a friendship, not a friendship/relationship with our clients. So we hope to continue the same way because we feel that works for us. We feel having a friendly environment. I mean, we have a dog in the office with us every day. All of our clients know our dog Jet, who is not really our dog, he's Jackie's dog. But,
of course, Jet, called Jet.
Yes. So, we like to make it a very friendly environment. So we really do hope that we can continue to build those relationships with our favourite clients.
Now, looking into the crystal ball, that's all, hearsay at the moment. We don't know when the pandemic will finish, but when we are in full swing and maybe the borders around Australia come down, do you think your clientele will be travelling in Australia first before they venture overseas?
Yeah, I think now is the time that people will travel within Australia and do things that they have always thought that they would like to do, that they've been putting off. So they might do the Garn up to Darwin, they might do the Indian Pacific over to Perth, or something that I've always wanted to do, I've done it by land, I've never done it by sea, is one of those fabulous Kimberley cruises. I think those sort of things will take off. So travelling within Australia is something that I think will be the first thing to happen again.
And we can look forward to that too, because we know people all around Australia and indeed the world come to the Peninsula. So we can look forward to that. Now, the other thing that the government is offering is the JobKeeper. If you're taking that up, which I think you are you?
Yes, we are.
So that will hopefully keep you afloat and in survival mode until we come out of this, so that you can continue to offer the excellent service that you have been giving to the locals down here. Is that how you see it, Rochelle?
Yeah, so we're hoping that the JobKeepers obviously is going to stay around until September. We would like to see everything up and running well before September internationally. I really don't know whether that will happen, but the JobKeeper has been something that will save both Jackie and I on a personal level, more so than a business level.
Well, that's right. And hopefully that will work for you and you can continue to offer the services I said to locals, and I'm sure you will. I mean, we all will be able to come back, and you'll be so busy. People will be in catch-up mode. You will be in catch-up mode. There's many people who at this time of year travel overseas to get away from our winter. And, thousands and thousands, if not, million plus people travel at this time. So there's that catch up next year, which you'll be part of. And of course, the travel within Australia. And you would hope that the locals, and indeed Australia, will go more to their travel agent rather than book online. So I guess that's what you're hoping as well.
Yeah, look, we're a little small community down here in Somerville, so there are a lot of local sporting clubs that we look after. We give back to the community, and I would really like to hope that if something good comes out of this pandemic, is that locals realise they need to give back to the people that give to them.
That's right, and I think that's very well said. And we know that our locals love supporting our industries down here, which includes the restaurants and the tourists, and offering a lot more than just what other parts of Victoria offer. I believe we do love living down here. Thank you so much, Rochelle, for your time again, and take care, and we will get out of this. It's just sitting tight, and we wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you, Deborah. It's been a pleasure.
I'm Deborah Maher, and I've just been speaking with Rachel Morgan, one of the directors at Somerville Travel and Cruise. Thank you, Rochelle. Back to you, Catie.
Deborah Maher there, talking to Rachel Morgan. Somerville Travel and Cruise continue to be a great sponsor and supporter of RPPV, and we wish them well for the future. Coming up after the break, Shivani Pillay introduces us to a new story she will be investigating over the coming weeks.
Hi everyone, I'm coming to you with another update about our response to this corona crisis. We've obviously seen through this time just how inextricably each of our individual physical well-being is linked to the well-being of our community as a whole. That's been obvious in the way that we've had to combat this disease and the risk we all face from it. And I really believe that in exactly the same way, we're seeing how our economic well-being as individuals is being impacted by the economic impact on our community as a whole. I've talked to so many people about jobs that they've lost or have under threat, so many businesses that are really being rocked by this and battling to make it through. And if it's not you personally, I'm sure it's been your partner, your sibling, your friend, someone you know who's been impacted by this economic hit of the coronavirus. So it's in this space that we're going to need to come together, and we're going to need to find ways to get through this together. And the Shire have put together a pretty comprehensive immediate response package that I wanted to share for you and ask for you to help us get the word out about to local businesses that they can take advantage of. Key elements of the package are refunds. There's a 50% refund of 2020 registration for food and health premises and a 50% refund of footpath trading permits. That basically covers the 6 months of this crisis that we are going through. In rates, we're charging no interest on unpaid debts until at least the 30th of June, and we're extensively reviewing our rates hardship policy, looking at the best way that can be used for residents and businesses. We're also waiving all rent for eligible commercial tenants of council properties until the 30th of September 2020. We're also putting together an extensive business information and funding finder mechanism with newsletters and surveys, basically giving people a one-stop comprehensive location to find out everything they can about support their businesses can access. We've also developed and supported a local business campaign, encouraging our community to get around social media and other mechanisms to support local businesses, and the council's committed to procuring our goods and services locally at every single opportunity we can find. In terms of our council payments, we're expediting our payments to our suppliers and local contractors to make sure they're getting the money in their pocket as soon as they possibly can in these challenging times. In our planning area, we're fast-tracking approvals for change of use for businesses so that businesses can change their operating models without having to go through red tape that isn't necessary. We're also accelerating our program maintenance and works in our capital works area to provide increased employment in those areas. So this relief package is really just the first and immediate response. We feel like it will be effective in providing some initial relief, and also help connect and draw upon the connections we have across the Shire with businesses to set us up for the next phase, which will be recovery and coming back from this as a community. We are going to continue to need to have close connections and a commitment to conversation and shared leadership to recover from this, because that's the only way we're going to make it out the other side and ensure that every person in our community can be part of a flourishing way of life after this crisis has passed. Thanks again, everyone.
Battery World now open in Mornington.
We know batteries. We know our 75 D23Ls from our DIN 65 LHs. And we know which is best for you. We have the range and a spark no one else can match, because we live and breathe batteries. Those beautiful boxes and cylinders that power our lives and our passions. That's why we're the batteryologists. We're Battery World.
Battery World Shop 1, 43 Mornington Tyre Road, Mornington.
Welcome back. In an interview on RPPV Breakfast, Margaret Davis of the Sorrento State Emergency Service Unit reminded the community to prepare for winter. Keep up home maintenance to reduce the possibility of injury and damage to property. Clear out your gutters and store away your outdoor items. In storms, don't park under trees or power lines, and don't drive through floodwaters. If you need the SES, call 132 500 and 000 for life-threatening emergencies. Over the coming weeks, RPPV will be presenting a series on the controversial bid by Hillview Quarries to excavate a quarry on the slopes of Arthur's Seat, at the doorway to the Mornington Peninsula. This plan has been met with strong opposition by those concerned with preserving the natural habitat and bushland of the state park. We go now to Shivani Pillai to introduce the series.
Who is Hillview and what is this all about? Hillview Quarries is owned by R.E. Ross Trust and is seeking to reopen and expand the old Pioneer Quarry near Arthur's Seat Park, Boundary Road, Dramana. The proposal involves clearing 93 acres of native vegetation and the removal of 70 million tonnes of granite over 70 years. The proposed pit would be 190 metres deep, which is the height of 2.5 MCG light towers. In early March, hundreds of people rallied against the bid, and a petition against the plan has collected more than 8,000 signatures. Opponents want the state government to buy the Dramana land and preserve it as part of the state park. They also called for all commercial operations to be banned from the park. There are a number of threatened species on the site. Peninsula Preservation Group, PPG President, Mark Fansett, said the proposal was grossly inappropriate and the land was too precious to lose. He told the Mornington News, "This is not a little quarry. It would be as big as Melbourne's Royal Botanic Gardens, and they want to bulldoze the last big bushland area on the Mornington Peninsula to do it," he said. How is destroying one of the state's and region's best remnant natural environments conserving and protecting Victoria's biodiversity, particularly when there are other alternatives and well-located sources of quarry products? Flinders MP Greg Hunt said the proposed quarry has caused him great concern and he has asked the Ross Trust to reconsider its plans. He said he has written to Mr. Wynne voicing his strong opposition to this proposal. Mr. Hunt said, proceeding with such a proposal would result in the fundamental erosion of the green wedge and widespread environmental destruction in an area renowned for its natural qualities. Save Arthur's Seat is a community organisation rallying to protect their bushland, and they held a meeting on the 7th of March at Dramana Community Hall. They have a dedicated Facebook page and placards with the slogan, "Off our seat, no new quarry," have been erected throughout the peninsula. In a written statement, Hillview Quarries Chief Executive Paul Nitas said the company was hoping for understanding, support and goodwill from the community. Mr. Fansett from PPG said that the Hillview's plans had bypassed Mornington Peninsula Shire, removing community appeal options, and went before State Planning Minister Richard Wine. Once the crucial environmental effects statement, or the EES, has been prepared by Hillview's consultants and submitted to government, people would have 25 days to comment and there would be no right of appeal after Mr. Wynn's decision. Mornington Peninsula Shire will have an opportunity to provide input into the proposal, but the Planning Minister will have the final say. RPPFM will be reporting the response from the Shire and will update you on developments as they transpire.
We'll have more updates on that story over the coming weeks. Now for some more local people making a difference during the pandemic. Mount Martha's Boomerang Bag Club has stepped up their game to start sewing scrubs for nurses at Rosebud and Frankston hospitals. Using fabric donated by the Mornington Peninsula Shire, the 10 group members have made 30 sets of scrubs so far. The group usually makes fabric bags to reduce the number of plastic bags in circulation and have made over 3,000 to date. Meanwhile, the Pantry House at Benton Square Shopping Centre has set up a pay-it-forward scheme for emergency services and healthcare staff. They're inviting customers to buy a coffee for a frontline worker and say they're averaging 50 free coffees per day. If you're a frontline worker in need of caffeine, Pantry House is waiting for your visit. And for those missing the social fun of happy hour, some thoughtful locals have created a great alternative with the Peninsula Virtual Pub. Open each Friday, the interactive site invites locals to catch up with each other virtually for a cheeky glass. Local musicians have been booked to perform, providing a rare audience for struggling artists. Entry is free and donations to the performing musicians is encouraged. There's even a trivia night. Visit peninsulapub.org to receive a link or go to their Facebook page. Remember, if you are isolated and qualify for food deliveries through the Shire's Caring for Our Community program, phone 1300 850 600. And now it's time for the weather with Lisa.
Lisa Lenoble bringing you the remote Mornington Peninsula 6-day forecast this Thursday, the 30th of April. Let's take a look at the weather for this weekend and our extended forecast. Rain, rain and more rain. Today we'll see a minimum of 9 and a maximum of 13. Cloudy, high chance of a shower, most likely from the late morning, and a chance of a thunderstorm. Winds will be westerly 20 to 30 k's, tending southwesterly 30 to 45 k's in the morning, then tending northwesterly 40 to 55 kilometres in the late evening. Friday will see a minimum of 7 and a maximum of 13, cloudy, high chance of a shower and a chance of a thunderstorm with a small amount of hail during the morning. Winds will be westerly 30 to 45 k's, increasing to 40 to 60 k's during the morning, then turning southwesterly 35 to 55 k's during the evening. On Saturday, we'll see a minimum of 9 and a maximum of 15, cloudy, high chance of a shower, most likely during the morning. Winds will be southwesterly 35 to 50 k's. Sunday will see a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 15. High chance of a shower. Winds will be southwesterly 25 to 35 k's. On Monday, we'll see a minimum of 10 and a maximum of 16. Partly cloudy, medium chance of a shower, light winds. Tuesday, a minimum of 8 and a maximum of 16. Partly cloudy, patchy morning fog, slight chance of a shower and light winds. That's it from me. Thanks so much for watching on RPPV. Stay safe. See you next week. I'm Lisa Lenoble.
And that's all from our team here at RPPV News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Stay home, stay safe, wash your hands and get your flu shots. Keep watching and tell your friends. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.
Hi everyone, I'm just here today to give the community a bit of a brief update on the progress of our Aquatic Centre project down here in Rosebud. Obviously it's very uncertain and unknown times for all of us with coronavirus, and there's so much we're working through together as a community, but I think it's great to see things like this where we are continuing to get the job done. There's some things that we're able to keep working on and delivering for our community in spite of all the challenges we're facing. And I think it's a really good news story that in terms of our Aquatic Centre, we're still on track to get this finished for the community by the end of this year, and we're on budget. And I think it's just a great thing that we're looking forward to at the end of the year, being able to see this finished and being able to get ready for an opening ceremony and celebrations with our community. And I hope that really lines up with a great sense of kind of celebration in our community, making it out of some real challenges this year as well. So great to be down here. Hope you appreciate the update, and I'll catch you soon.